In this presentation, we are going to see about FSSAI licensing procedure, the standards and the guidelines with respect to Mango RTS beverage. Firstly, we need to understand what is FSSAI. FSSAI is a regulatory body which is Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. This regulatory body has been got established under the Food Safety and Standard Act 2006. This new act consolidates various acts and orders which are in relation with the food material. FSSAI has been created for laying down science-based standards for various food articles and to regulate their manufacture, storage, distribution, sale and import. It actually ensures the availability of safe and wholesome food for the human consumption. The most important requirement by the FSSAI is that every food business operator who is involved in the manufacturing, processing, storage, distribution and sale of food products must comply and obtain either a registration or license for their businesses. So again, your food business should either have a registration or it should either have a license for the business. Then why there is a need of FSSAI registration? As I already told, it is a mandate by the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India that every business should have a registration. Then what is registration? It is a 14-digit registration number you will get. So once you have your business registered, you will get 14-digit registration number or a license number which you can print on your package. The 14-digit registration number gives details about the assembling state and it permits for the production. When your business gets a registration number or license number by the FSSAI, your business will get certain benefits out of it. The first benefit is improved customer base. With the license of healthy eating food option, FSSAI license gives an added advantage of a solid and increase in a customer base. The second benefit is legal advantage. It is advisable to get FSSAI license before you can even officially open your business. Food license cost lesser than what you will have to pay for the penalties if you are caught. So for avoiding all these consequences, you need to comply with this requirement that to obtain either registration or license. The third benefit is using FSSAI logo. Once your business gets registered or once you get a license for your business from FSSAI, you can use the FSSAI logo on your product. Again, by using the FSSAI logo, your brand image will get enhanced. The fourth benefit is business expansion. The license can help you to secure the loans and fundings which is required for business expansion. Depending upon your turnover of the business, your business may either into a registration or licensing. It is mandated that all the food business operators should at least have a basic registration. Again, if your business is either entering into as a petty food business, or if your turnover is less than 12 lakh rupees, you can go only for registering your business under FSSAI. If your turnover is exceeding 12 lakhs and if it is in between 12 lakhs to 20 crores, you can obtain a license for your business. That too, again, for such kind of business you need to obtain state license. Again, if your business turnover is more than 20 crores, you are entering into a large food business and you need to obtain a central license for your business. Now we'll see about the procedure for basic registration. So to obtain a registration for your business, firstly you need to file an application. You need to fill the application form A and you have to pay a registration fee of rupees 100 for each application. The application will go under processing. Either a grant or rejection of your application, you will get informed within 7 days of your application. If your registration is granted, you will get an registration certificate. Again, if you don't get any response within 7 days of your application, you can start your business within 13 days. Sometimes after application, your business will get inspected and then you will get a registration number for your business. So the inspection will happen within the 30 days of your application. If you don't get any response either within the 7 days of your application or either within the 30 days of your registration, you can start your business as it is. Now we'll see the procedure for obtaining a state or central license for your business. Same as the registration, you have to file an application to obtain a state or central license, but you need to apply by using the application form B, and again you have to provide the supporting documents. You have to pay the application fee as per your type of the business. Once you file an application, your application will get a unique application number. Again, if your application is incomplete, you have to provide the complete information in your application. After a thorough inspection of your premises, the inspection report will get issued, and after that you will get informed either for a grant or rejection for your license. If you are fulfilling all the requirements which are there for obtaining a license and registration, you will get granted your license within 30 days. Again, if you don't get any inspection report, if you don't find any response from the FSSAI side, or if you don't get any inspection report within 30 days, you can start your business after 60 days. Again, if anyhow the food safety officer or the designated officer find any problems in your application, they can either cancel your registration or license, they can give you an improvement notice, or they may suspend your license also. So again, if you are not complying with the rules and regulation which has been got stated in the licensing and registration regulation, either your registration and license will get cancelled or your business may get suspended. Again, once your license get cancelled, you may be able to apply afresh only after 90 days. That too, again, you have to provide a report stating that you have made all the compliances with the requirements. This is the fee structure that you need to pay while applying or renewing for your registration or licensing. If you want to have a new application for registration, the fee is rupees 100. For central licensing, the fee is rupees 7,500. For renewal of your application for registration, the fee is rupees 100, and again in case of central licensing, the fee is rupees 7,500. Again, if there are modifications in your license or the license certificate, you need to pay 100 rupees if your business is under registration, and again if your business is under central licensing, you need to pay 7,500 rupees. If you want to obtain a duplicate certificate or license, you need to pay 10% of the applicable certificate fee. The license and the registration will be valid for 5 years. This is again about the steps that you need to follow for either obtaining a registration number or license for your food business. First, you have to file an application, then you will get an unique application reference number. Then after providing all the required information and a complete application, your application will get assessed, your premises will get inspected. Again, unique application ID you will get obtained for your application. Again, an inspection application will be there. After inspecting your premises, your business, an inspection report will get generated. Based on that inspection report, you will get granted your license. There are certain requirements that you need to comply if you want to have any modifications in your FSSAI license. The food business operators are required to report any change in the business to the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India within a reasonable time. Any changes related to the kind of business, scale of production, product category or formulation, etc. should follow the regulations. Once the FSSAI license or registration has been granted, any change required in the same filing application, the modifications of license will be able after filing the application in the form C. As it is important to have a registration or license for your food business, it is important to renew the registration and license every year. The license is issued for a validity of 1 year or 5 years. So, the business must apply for renewal of the registration or license prior to 30 days to the expiry of its current license. You can use the FLRS system to obtain and renew your license and registration. The 5 regional offices, that is, for northern region, you have an office situated at New Delhi. For eastern region, you have an office at Kolkata. For northeastern region, you have an office at Guwahati. For western region, you have an office at Mumbai and Kerala. And for south region, you have an office at Chennai. To obtain more information on registration and licensing procedure, you can again visit on this site. This is a single window system, that is food safety compliance system. You can log in yourself, your business in this system, and by using an eligibility check, you will be able to understand what kind of business you are running and whether your business will require to have a registration or to have either a state or central license. So once you have your eligibility check, you need to apply according to that one only. By using this system, you can apply for registration and licensing. You can track your application also, and you will get an information regarding your application status. In the regulation of Food Safety and Standard, Food Product Standards and Food Additives Regulation 2011, in the point number 2.3.10, the definition and requirements for thermally processed fruit beverages, fruit drink, ready to serve fruit beverages are given. The thermally processed fruit beverages, fruit drink, ready to serve fruit beverages, that is canned, bottled, flexible packed and or aseptically packed, means an unfermented but fermentable product which is prepared from juice or pulp or puree or a concentrated juice or pulp of a sound mature fruit. The substances that may be added to fruit juice or pulp are water, peel oil, fruit essence and flavors. Salt, sugar, invert sugar, liquid glucose, milk and other ingredients appropriate to the product can also be get added. The product can be processed by heat in an appropriate manner before and after being sealed in a container so as to prevent its spoilage. Again, it is stated that the product shall meet the following requirements. First, the total soluble solids should not be less than 10%. The fruit juice content should not be less than 10%. In case of lime and lemon, it should not be less than 5%. The container shall be well filled with the product and shall occupy not less than 90% of the water capacity of the container when packed in rigid container. The water capacity of container is the volume of distilled water at 20 degrees Celsius which the sealed container is capable of holding when completely filled. This table tells you about the list of food additives to be get used in a thermally processed fruit beverages. You can use citric acid. Again, it should be of a GMP quality. You can use ascorbic acid at a level of 550 ppm at a maximum level. This tables tells you about microbial standards for thermally processed fruit beverages, fruit drink, ready to serve fruit beverages. The thermally processed fruit and vegetable products should not have more than 50 TPC per ml. Again, at an incubation at 37 degrees Celsius for 10 days and at 55 degrees Celsius for 7 days, there should not be any change in pH. Again, in case of other fruits and vegetable products covered under regulation 2.3, yeast and mold count should not be more than 100 counts per gram of your product. This slide will tell you about the requirements regarding the metal contaminants. Beverages, the fruit and vegetable juice, the contaminant, that is lead, should not be exceeding 1 ppm by weight. In case of pulp and pulp products of any fruit, the copper should not exceed 5 ppm by weight. In case of pulp and product for arsenic, it should not exceed 0.2 ppm by weight. Again, in case of tin metal, it should not exceed 250 ppm by weight of the product. And again, with respect to zinc, the zinc content should not exceed 5 ppm by weight of the product. To overcome the risk associated with the contaminants and spoilage causing microorganism, it is very much important to follow certain guidelines or practices. The general hygienic and sanitary practices to be followed by the food business operators are given in Schedule 4 of the Act. Now we'll see some sanitary and hygienic requirements for food manufacturers, processors and handlers. The place where food is manufactured, processed or handled shall comply with the following requirements. The premises shall be located in a sanitary place and it should be free from filthy surrounding and shall maintain overall hygienic environment. All new units shall set up away from environmentally polluted areas. The premises to conduct food business for manufacturing should have adequate space for manufacturing and storage to maintain overall hygienic environment. The premises shall be clean, adequately lighted and ventilated and sufficiently free space for movement. Floors, ceilings and walls must be maintained in a sound condition. They should be smooth and easy to clean with no flaking paints or plasters. The floor and skirted walls shall be washed as per requirement with an effective disinfectant. The premises shall be kept free from all insects. No spraying shall be done during the conduct of business, but instead fly flaps should be used to kill spray flies getting into the premises. Windows, doors and other openings shall be fitted with net or screen as appropriate to make the premises insect free. The water used in a manufacturing shall be potable and if required chemical and bacteriological examination of the water shall be done at the regular interval at any recognized laboratory. The premises should ensure a continuous supply of potable water. In case of intermittent water supply, adequate storage arrangement for water used in a food or washing shall be made. Equipment and machinery when employed shall be of such design which will permit easy cleaning. Arrangements for cleaning of containers, tables, working parts of machinery, etc. shall be provided. No vessel, container or other equipment, the use of which is likely to cause metallic contamination injurious to the health, shall be employed in the preparation, packaging and storage of food. The vessels which are made from copper or brass shall have proper linings. All the equipment shall be kept clean, washed, dried and stacked at the close of business to ensure freedom from growth of molds and fungi and infestation. All equipments shall be placed well away from the wall to allow proper inspection. There should be efficient drainage system and there shall be adequate provision for disposal of refuses. The workers working in a processing and preparation shall use clean aprons, hand gloves and headwears. Persons suffering from infectious diseases shall not be permitted to work. Any cuts or wounds shall remain covered at all time and the person should not be allowed to come in direct contact with food. All the food handlers shall keep their fingernails trimmed, clean and wash their hands with soap or detergent and the water before commencing work and every time after using toilet. Scratching of body parts, hairs shall be avoided during food handling processes. All food handlers should avoid wearing false nails or other items or loose jewelry that might fall into food and also avoid touching their faces or hair. Eating, chewing, smoking, spitting and nose blowing shall be prohibited within the premises, especially while handling the food. All articles that are stored or are intended for sale shall be fit for consumption and have proper cover to avoid contamination. The vehicles used to transport food must be maintained in a good repair and kept clean. Food while in its transport should be in a packaged form or in a container that shall maintain the required temperature. Insecticides, disinfectants shall be kept and stored separately and away from the food manufacturing, storing and handling areas. So this is all about the requirements by the FSSAI with respect to the ready to serve mango beverage. Thank you.